Hello out there in astrology world. This is your friendly neighborhood astrologer, and this is the full moon chart for the 7th of March 2023, and this is tagged for the East Coast of the United States, where most of you people, or at least most of the people that are sending this to initially, are. You can change for time zone as necessary, but we have a very interesting chart. We have the sun and the moon, obviously, at 16 degrees of Pisces and Virgo. The big thing here is shortly before this, and before I even get this video out, the moon has gone through an opposition with Pluto at the early degrees of Leo, and that is the last one that we're going to get before Pluto moves into Aquarius. At the early degrees of Virgo, before the full moon, the moon goes into opposition with Saturn before the Saturn goes into Pisces, which is less than an hour after this full moon. I knew you guys are feeling big stuff here, and you can see that the sun at 16, and the Mars is in the middle there in Gemini at 21 degrees, and because Mars is still an inner planet and it's still pretty close, that square, that 90-degree angle between the sun and the moon there is still pretty active. It's still very active. And so this crisis point here, with that Mars in the middle, and he's moving forward, but he's really slow still. And Mars has been in Gemini since August, and he's not been happy with it, especially not backing up. Not only being slow, but he's been backing up. And now that he is moving forward, and has been for well over a month, he's still kind of frustrated. And then he's going to go from, Gemini, where he's been slow, into Cancer, where Mars doesn't want to be. So we're getting a little bit of flavor of that. With Mercury at 7 degrees, it's about 9 degrees off from the sun. That's definitely close enough for us to have some feelings about it. Yesterday, on the 2nd, Mercury moved into Pisces, and it moved past Saturn. So he conjuncted Saturn right before Saturn is moving out of Aquarius. So Mercury doesn't like Saturn. Saturn, constricts that, and there were some things that Saturn has imparted. And as Mercury moves around the rest of the zodiac, he's going to inform what he learned there. The also interesting thing is here we've got Mercury right between Saturn and the sun, so there's a tension there also. With that tension there, like I said, between the sun and Mercury and Saturn, also Neptune being at rulership there at the end of Pisces is getting louder. And although this is very illusory, it's very much the illusion and subconscious things. Saturn moving into here is going to show us the structures and the ways that we thought we were doing things, and the way we thought we were strong in our long-term plans. He's going to show us what is not real. He is going to also be able to manifest our dreams. So dream hard and work on it. Like, that's the Virgo moon. That's Virgo anything. That's your daily life, your 6th house, like wherever that exists. And that's about your communication. That's about making sure that your mind, your hands, and your mouth are working in the same direction, and that you're watching your words, because Saturn wants patterns. It's even, it matches, right? It sounds like the same thing. And we need to give in, right? We have been trying to hold our line, and some of us have been trying to force ourselves or other people into doing things the last 3 years since Saturn's been in Aquarius, and this is the end of it. This moon is showing us where it ends. And the sun is showing us, hey, by the way, Pisces, it ends. This is the ending. This is the culmination of all the lessons that have been handed down for some of us over the last 30 years. And the rest of you, you will think back on these in around 30 years and go, wow, amazing. I never thought that thing was possible. I never thought that I would get where I am now from where I started then. Mercury is at the degree, they're at 7, that Saturn's going to retrograde. He's going to move up to 7, he's going to back up. So something else about, just less than an hour after this moon, when Saturn moves into Pisces, we're all going to feel like we got snatched back to that full moon at 1 degree. And for reference, that was on the 20th of February. So, and Saturn was at 28 degrees, which was still less than 2 degrees away from, 3 degrees from the sun, and the moon was right there with it. So we're going to feel like we got snatched right back. So it's been, a couple of weeks since then. And so that's also part of this is realizing how far we've come and how much has changed in the last 2 weeks. And I'm sure you guys may recall me telling you that. And this is going to continue to be the thing. So we're going to get, we're going to feel like we get yanked back in time. Saturn is the Lord of Time. He's the timekeeper. He is the ruler of the physical matrix of the universe. And through him is what is how we manifest things. Now we can manifest magic or do whatever it is we got to do, but it still has to run through him. It's like, is this part of your pattern, or is this thing going to try to break you? Or are you going to try to break yourself trying to make this thing because you just started it, or because you changed directions too hard? But now we are having to let go of some of those ways and some of those things, some of those foundations that we thought we had, or those vibrations, in Aquarius that we were doing. And the last time Saturn was in Pisces was in the early 90s. So those that were not there then, you might see a lot of stuff, look up the early 90s. And I think we're about to start seeing some of those things again, but obviously in new ways. And with Pluto going into Aquarius, we're probably going to get a replay of some stuff that was going on 3 years ago. But it's going to be more subconscious. We're going to be playing these things, playing these roles and these reels over and over and over in our heads. But it's Pisces. His realm is the subconscious. And it is about mental health. And Mercury is there, in Pisces, sandwiched between the sun, which is how we're trying to shine, how we are trying to project ourselves out in the world, what we're creating as a collective, and Saturn, which is how to ground it, how to build the mountain. So always thinking back and always reflecting back is not how to build the mountain. You can look at the mountain, but you got to keep building it, right? And with all these subconscious elements, we have to look towards our daily lives and have to ask, what are we building? How is this manifesting? What is going on around us? What's going on inside of us? And keep working on that. Lastly, before I move forward here, before I go into the personals, for anybody that is listening to this, I do personal charts for these moons for my tribe. So, and tribe, I'm posting this publicly. I'm going to try to get it up this afternoon because I don't have time to put everything all together at once today, because this week has been bananas, as I'm sure everybody else knows. So, Pisces is the mind of Capricorn. Capricorn creates magic, right? They think about magic. They think about connecting worlds, right? They are the climber, right? Or Capricorn. Is it going to help me? Yep. Nope. Next. Done. And any Capricorn that refuses to do that will end up in a space of depression. And you can see, you guys all know those people, those Capricorn looks, and I know that I have that look on my face quite often. That, are you kidding me? Is that what happened? And just that reluctance, that, oh, I guess we have to do this anyway. That giving in, not giving up, but giving in is Pisces, right? So pay attention to where the magic is, and it does connect worlds. That's what the line between the two arcs is. It's a boundary that connects worlds. So where have you placed your daily boundaries inside your work and your words, and where those words and deeds match up to improve your life? Where does that create boundaries, and how does that create magic? So pay attention to that, and you will know everything you got to know about this moon.